My name is Judy Glenn. I started with the Bridge, my career at the Bridge, on February 1st of 1991. Been there 19 and a half years, and I'm currently the office administrator for the Orlando Bridge non-secure site. I keep all the paperwork flowing. I make files. I keep all the clerical records for the year. I make all the intakes, do all the discharges. I store all of that. I also, as I'm part of the financial part, and corporate does the biggest portion of the input, but I am responsible for the clients when they come in and when they discharge, and getting all that paper flow and the checks and everything and issue them to the clients. If you're an applicant and you're in front of me and you ask me why I think that you should, work for the Bridge, I believe that they offer great opportunities for you. As we're growing, and we are in leaps and bounds, there's opportunities to move forward, to learn new things. They offer great benefits for you, I feel, and I think that for me, the sensation and the gratification that I get from working with offenders, and they're with me for 6 months, and I can shake their hand after 6 months, give them a discharge check, say, you did a great job, good luck to you, and then have them come back 10 years later and shake my hand and say, I remember you, you gave me my discharge check, you gave me my certificate or my discharge summary, and I'm still clean and sober. And that warms my heart. Makes me feel good that I had a small part of that. Well, my first job, when I was, my youngest son was 4 years old, I started working in preschool, which I thought was my calling, teaching children. And I learned quickly. I was working with abused children. I learned quickly that was not my calling in life. It was just too tender-hearted for that. I went from there and I started working in retail, which I loved. I worked there for 4 years, and then I went into the clerical field, which is the courses that I took in high school, clerical courses, and I went to work for an organization that we photographed military and high school reunions, and we made memory books for their reunions, and we sold pictures. And I was laid off from there after 6.5 years with new owners taking over, and all the employees were laid off. Eventually I happened to be the manager, and I was the first one to be let go. But then I went on, and I was unemployed at that point for 2.5 months. At that point I was widowed 3 years, and I had teenage sons that I was raising. And I went and applied for a position that they advertised in the newspaper for a security secretary. And when I went over for my interviewing, I found out at that point it was a work release, but they also had the drug and alcohol treatment part of it too, which was unique in the fact that most work releases don't have the treatment, or didn't at that point. And so I was intrigued with that. Because the name of the organization at that point was Christian Prison Ministries. We were very, very small at that point. We had a men and a women's center, and once I got over my fear of working with people, that did drugs and alcohol and offenders, I had to learn about that there is hope for them, and I was intrigued by that, that there was a ministry there to teach them about drug and alcohol and how they can work, learn to, to hold a job, getting out of prison, be able to help them, know how to find jobs and go out and be able to be successful when they got out of prison. But they also learned about drug treatment and alcohol treatment, that they can stay clean and sober when they got out too, so they didn't go back into the repetition that they came from. And I felt I had clerical skills that I had learned that I could help them. Like I say, we were very small, so they didn't have like a setting up of a whole office type setting, because they were just, their file work and everything came from the Department of Corrections. Now this was in February of '91, and they were offering to be able to put out a non-secure site, bids for non-secure site. So I was blessed and very privileged to be a part of the inset of that starting in September 1st of 1991 that we opened up the Orlando Bridge non-secure site, which was people that are not in the prison setting. They're actually court-ordered on drug and alcohol felony charges to come into treatment, and they didn't go to work right away. It takes a couple of months, and within the founder, Bishop Costantino, had remarked that he wanted to open up 5 of those centers in 5 years, and we did that. And I felt very blessed to be a part of that, and felt that I had something that I can contribute, and it also helped me in my personal life. I felt when I applied there, I knew my next job, I wanted it to be my career. It wasn't just going to be as long as I could be there, or until they got tired of me or I got tired of them. I wanted this to be my career. I was almost 40 at that point, or over 40, and my kids would be leaving home, and I wanted to be my last job. I wanted it to make my career in some place that I could retire from. But I fell in love with the concept of helping people, just like I wanted to do with the children, which I just didn't feel that I was capable of doing. And but these are adults, but still there's hope for them as long as you give them treatment and they're receptive to that. And I felt that it was a calling there, that by God, I felt I was called there by God.